Warning. The following are the rantings of a lunatic. The opinions expressed are incendiary on Earth and capital offenses in the more civilized sectors of the galaxy. Furthermore, the advice given has been formed in the mind of a man known to often speak uncomfortable truths and should be heeded at your own peril.
That's true, you know. That is true. So I wrote that kind of tongue-in-cheek. And when I did, as I said, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but there's kind of a little point to it. In that little preamble there, the Earth is, America is representing the Earth, and the rest of the world out there is kind of the galaxy. And it's the free speech and the thoughts. Here in America, we're the only place on Earth where you can give expression to every thought that comes into your head. You're free to say it. And without America, all that's gone. And so we have to fight for America, because if the world comes here and takes that away from us, I'm afraid they'll hang me. And I'm just guessing a lot of you would probably swing with me. So we've just got to save our country. And we are under attack. And it's by commies. And speaking of commies, that brings us to Mr. Blake Simmons. And he's a full-blown commie. He's a student at UC Berkeley. And he's there on a scholarship. You know, it's racist America sending $60K plus a year, they say. I looked that up. I didn't know. I was just curious. And but anyhow, he's written a little essay, I guess manifesto, I think is actually his word. And the title of this thing is Proclamation to the United States, a New Constitution, or the Bullet. Now, I've already read this thing twice, and I'm seriously concerned that if I read it all the way through a third time that I might get ear aids. And this has come from a site that I've just recently found called truthandaction.org. And they're definitely...
We detect too many truths going on in here. We believe that you are speaking untruths.
I'm not.
We beg you to stop telling the truth. We don't want it to go on any longer and let it go on.
Okay.
You must stop.
Yeah. They don't like me telling the truth around here. So anyhow, Mr. Simmons has written this manifesto. As I said, it's titled Proclamation to the United States, a New Constitution, or the Bullet. All right, let's read. This is just the first paragraph because, as I said, I've read it twice. And you can go to truthandaction.org lest you think I've taken, and read it all yourself, lest you think I've taken Mr. Simmons here, or Bitch Boy, as I'm going to refer to him from here on out of context. Let's read. After what has felt like endless hours of protest, I'm going to start over. After what has felt like, I already got it. After what has felt like endless hours of black protest and uprisings throughout the United States, I felt like our progress was moving in circles. Instead of justice, in circles, instead of police killings decreasing in the Bay Area, I witnessed an increase in killings of black men in Oakland. I'm stumbling. All right, they said I already read it twice, but it's killing brain cells, man. In Oakland, five black men have been executed by OPD this summer alone. I am tired of waking up and checking Twitter to see another black body as a hashtag. His punctuation makes it a little hard to read. I don't know what they teach them there, but RBLM protests have stormed the country, yet cops continue to kill us daily. And the judicial system continues to justify our deaths with acquittals, non-indictments, light sentences, all in the name of upholding the Constitution. Mr. Simmons, bitch boy, you better be glad that they're upholding the Constitution. As I said, I looked into him just a little bit. I'm not sure what year he is in, but this is not from the BLM official site. But I went there, and BLM does claim him as an organizer. So he's one of theirs. They do claim him. Having said that, BLM, I don't think that they give a shit about black lives. And I've got a little list here that I found today. I didn't find it. I made it. And I had to narrow my search down pretty hard for it. This is Chicago alone. Esteban Luvianos, male, 15 years old, white. No suspect, no witness. Jose Juarez, male, 9 years old, Hispanic, black, no suspect. Marlon Gaines, male, 15 years old, black, male suspect. Demetrius Hardy, male, 15 years old, black, male suspect. Janari Ricks, male, 9 years old, no suspect, no witness. Terrence Malden, male, 15 years old, black, no suspect. Antoine Gaydon, male, 1 year old, no witness, no suspect. Madeline Wallace, female, 17 years old. This one's a little interesting. Female, black female suspect. No, she's not the only female on the list, but she's the only one with a female suspect. Veranda, if I mispronounce one of these names or any of these names, I'm trying to read them as, I'm reading this respectfully, and there's a point here. Rondo Jones Jr., male, 4 years old, no witness, no suspect. I'm just calling bullshit on some of this. Sincere Gaston, male, 1 year old, black, no suspect. Lena Nunez, female, 10 years old, American Indian, black, no suspect. Mikhail Ike, male, 15 years old, black, male suspect. Amari Jones, female, black, male suspect. Jeremiah James, male, 15 years old, black, male suspect. I think I misspoke on Amari Jones, female, black, male suspect. Female, 13 years old. Okay, so that's 15. And I narrowed my search, this is Chicago alone, to 15 and under. And there's 17 of them on this list. Murder victims, 15 and under in Chicago. And the other two were interesting in that these are Amir Newell, Jontavius Newell. Male 7, Amir, male 7, Jontavius, male 2. And their 7-year-old brother, whose name I'm not going to say here because he survived this attack. And so I'm not going to mention his name. But these boys were killed by their 23-year-old mother. She was high on PCP, according to police. And so, do you hear that? She had a 10-year-old. That means that she had him when she was 13. 23-year-old mother. And what happened here is that she had stabbed, high on PCP, she had stabbed her grandfather, stabbed the 10-year-old boy, stabbed and killed the 7-year-old boy, threw the 2-year-old boy out the window, and then jumped out the window herself. And police responded when witnesses reported 2 bodies laying in the sidewalk. She actually has survived. And at the time of the story, this happened on 3/16/20. And I read the story, and the grandfather who she had stabbed was critical, and she was critical, but they were alive. And the 10-year-old boy was expected to survive his stab wounds. So, where's Black Lives Matter at? I mean, we talked about that. Not all lives matter, because I wouldn't give you a nickel for a bitch like her, a baby raper. I wouldn't give you a nickel for that life. But it doesn't matter what color your skin is. That doesn't decide if your life is valuable or not. Your character, your heart, what's inside of you, that's what determines that. But at least in my book. So Mr. Simmons, bitch boy, goes on and he talks about a couple other things that I just want to address. I'm going to summarize kind of the rest of his little rant there. And the first thing is slavery. Let's talk about slavery. Slavery was bad. I mean, this is that simple, but not only blacks were enslaved. Long before there was a white person here in North America, for an American had a black slave, or even there was a white person here in North America. Africans and Arabs were enslaving whites in the Barbary slave trade. I mean, it went on for 1,000 years. And furthermore, then this is a number I'm going to give you from Breitbart. So, I'm not quoting it as a fact, but I believe it to be pretty accurate. Only 5% of whites alive today have an ancestor who was a slaveholder. And so there's that. I mean, they talk about restitutions. Why in the shit should I pay you? Shit, I'm not. God, yeah. And, I mean, that's just stupid. What's his other point? I'm not going to address the patriarchy thing again. We did that. That's just stupid. I mean, you're an idiot if you're doing there's yelling patriarchy. Yeah, you're just as stupid as somebody running around yelling racist. Genocide and rape. These are human beings, and those are terrible things, right? I mean, but we have laws against the shit, and when we catch people, we punish them. And I mean, if it was up to me, we'd probably punish them a little harder, but it's not. I live within the boundaries of the law, as I stated before, and if these people aren't willing to do that, then that's going to become a real issue. And I'm just going to touch on this. Indigenous peoples, he mentions. And you get right down to it, no peoples are indigenous. Depending on what your beliefs are, I'm not going to go like biblical or anything, but no, every place was without people at one time. And then people came there by whatever method they got there. In the case of North America, they came across the Bering Land Bridge. I think we can be certain of that. So they're not really indigenous. They migrated here from from Asia. And it's not like they were just all living in harmony over here, you know. I'm pretty sure they were fighting and killing each other long before a white guy got here. The white guy just did it better. And so, you know, I've got this little piece of land right here now, and I'm keeping it. So there's that. I mean, these people, they're just driving me nuts. I won't be done with it. I keep getting these articles. Somebody sends me these articles. And it just never seems to stop. But anyhow, I think that's about it for Mr. Simmons Bitch Boy. And but I do have another clip here that I'd like to show you that is something totally different. Now this young man here is let me see if I can I might put it in, I'd have to do a little hunting. I didn't write his name down because I thought it would be on this. Anyhow, I'm going to play a little clip for you, and this is about 2 minutes long. And this young man here is just speaking his mind. And I'm going to try to link this under the video. When I put this video up, I'm going to try to link this because this is about a 15-minute long video. And this young man is just speaking his mind. And so let's listen to him for a sec, and we'll talk about him.
Basically for them, because how they're getting us is they're playing us emotionally, and they're basically saying how racist and how messed up guys on the far right and neo-Nazis are because they need all the
I'm gonna let this play for about 2 minutes.
So they're getting the gays, they're getting people of other cultures, the people of the far left. I'm talking about the far left. I'm getting somewhere with this. They're getting gays, they're getting black people, anybody who doesn't like Donald Trump. They're basically trying to get you to fight for a war that is being started on American turf very, very soon. And they want us to be a part of their side. What I'm trying to get the black population to understand and understand, and this is critical, is the movement has been compromised. Okay, everybody needs to know that the RBG movement has been compromised. BLM, if you are not caught up to BLM, it is not even a real black organization. It never was. I actually feel bad that I've been keeping a lot of this information cooped up for so long, but I just felt like, you know, it wasn't getting anywhere. But now things are about to go ahead and hit the fan. Anyways, if you have any kind of brain, you know BLM is endorsed by the Soros in the Clinton family.
Where have you heard something like that before? That was sent to me, and there's something odd about that video before I really talk about this young man here. This video was sent to me about a week ago, and it was sent to me via YouTube, and so obviously it had a share under it. But then I went and looked at it yesterday when I was doing some homework to put this video here together, and the share, this video had been hidden behind an age-restricted wall, which means there's no share thing under it. You couldn't share it. But then today, it's got a share under it. So I'm going to try to hook it when this video uploads, but I don't know if it'll let me or not. I'll find this young man's name again and put it in there. But I want to talk about that young man because, you see, it's communism I'm fighting. I don't what whites and blacks, that ain't got nothing. I could give a shit less, man. I want patriots. And that's what, if you take the time to watch this full video, this is an impressive young man here. Well-spoken, and he's a young man. And having said that, I would gladly fight beside this man. And furthermore, you know, I don't know him personally, but if I got to know him and he was half of what I think that he might be, if one of us had to go, I would say it'd probably be best if it was me, because I can't, you know, I've had my life, and this young guy here could probably do a lot more for the country at this point than I could ever dream of doing. You know, all I'm doing is just trying to make a little noise because basically I felt like I got dared to. And pretty much I think I'm going to leave this one here, and let me look at my notes again, because every time, you know what happens to me, every time I wrap one of these up, I think, oh man, I meant to say this or I meant to say that. I think we covered all that with them names. And as I said, you know, those names in Chicago, that was a search for 15 and under. And that's just crazy. Just crazy. I think that just about wraps it up. I was going to make there was something else on him. We might come back to Bitch Boy Simmons, because I feel like I'm forgetting there's something I should have said about him. But anyhow, I thank you for watching, and like, share, subscribe, and peace out.